Today I turn 22 and I feel very weird about it. A lot has happened and I think it's time for a little review of everything that has happened. I am in a different place, however, this time. I'm not in my own home. I'm in Charity Tables' place, as for 1 month I wanted to be here to get some experience on some things. So if I sound different or I don't have anything really left to show, it's probably why I'm not a laptop. I'm not in my main computer. But this year has been pretty interesting. A lot has happened this year, and mostly a lot has happened this month. I will talk about the entire year, and then I'll talk about this month. So going kind of in order here. I might forget a few things, but I've reviewed what I've posted on Twitter. But a lot of streams, Valentine's Day with Oliver drawing, the 3D model stuff. This year, early on February, I visited Chair for a week, and it still amazes me that that has happened this year, this same year. Feels like decades ago. Started with Toho Fest charms that I wanted to make. Made merch for Mirith once again. That was a very complicated thing, but I'm glad it turned out all right in the end. Did drawings for a lot of friends, a lot of good projects, played a lot of games, Psychonauts, and that was really fun. Psychonauts, Bane and Spell, all a lot of good types of games. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Indivisible was not a good game, but it was a very fun experience to go through. Um, yeah, overall, a lot has happened in this year. I mean, I guess not a lot in the terms of like really progress. Like there were no projects, like just art stuff and all, but I wish there was more that would be done. But in the because I am me and I have been isolated for so long and never got anything done. This is a huge step for me that a lot has happened, and hopefully next year a lot more will happen. So with that being said, this month in particular is probably the most productive things I've ever done, you know? Like it is visiting Chair has been a big experience. It really let me saw how kind of the real world is a little bit, like how getting a job, getting things signed, or like how that works, and doing these career things, but also like how it is just hanging out with friends for the first time, And I really got to emphasize, like, I'm not kidding when I say I've really never hung out with friends before. I've hung out with people, okay? In high school, I had some people I spent time with, but they were never a close friend. We never saw eye to eye. We never were into the same things, and like, I would just I would just sit next to this band kid just because I would listen to him out, and he was like the only person I really knew. But I never enjoyed it. I never really actually cared about what he talked about. But I do care what these people now talk about. I care what Chair, Maple, Q, all the others, Meredith, everyone, Jake, Mayu. I care what they all say. A lot of new faces. They all mean a lot to me, and they really give me the feeling of like, yeah, these are my friends now, and it's weird saying that after for so long. Friend to me only meant like I had to sit through, someone talking about a thing I wasn't even interested in, and it's a weird feeling. But it's a good experience. It's something good to experience being with a lot of people and being friends with them all. Back in high school again, about one more thing, I remember that like I never talked to a lot of people. I didn't know what they thought of me. I always had the negative aura of like they like because I'm not a good person like at all. It was weird to hear like this one specific girl was saying like something about being kind. Like she complimented me on something. I don't remember what it was, either kind or like something. I don't remember, but I was so taken aback because that high school had a lot of bad things happen, and I assumed like I just everything went wrong. But it was just that one moment that really made me feel like kind of happy. And this is that, but the every single day, like every single day, I feel like everyone is comfortable around me, and I'm glad for that because that usually was never the case. With everyone around, I just feel very comfortable. I feel like we can just hang out and talk about whatever, and we really have talked about whatever. Even if when there's a topic that comes out that feels like, wow, this is kind of dark, or okay, this is kind of weird. Like they continue, they're not phased about it at all. I'm just like, this is something I really cared about because back then, I would bring up things to people, and they'll just look at me and be like, why are you into that? Like, why are you talking about this stuff? That's not good for you or something like that. Like they would just be like, what are you talking about? Just shut up already. And it's just really nice to hear like I can talk to some of these people about certain things, and they'll be eager to listen, even if it's a bit out there. And I can listen to them too. And what they talk about is something I'm interested in and I want to hear their stuff on. Um, so the main reason why I am in Chair's place for about a month is strictly because I've already spent experience with friends in that, but also I am learning specifically GameMaker code, HTML, CSS, PHP, C Sharp, Unity, those kinds of programs. Just learning how to generally code. It has been going great so far. I'm getting the hang of the basics. I need to get more into advanced stuff soon, and yeah, it's interesting, and I do find fun, and a bit of a puzzle is more the best way to put it. Like I find fun in the fact that it's a puzzle, and I like trying to quote unquote solve because the puzzle is about kind of creativity and figuring out. Like Baba is you thinking outside the box a little bit, and even though like I should put in my head that there's no one solution, I also have to put in my head that I should doesn't need to be perfect at the same time. Like I think my mind keeps putting back to like this is school. I have to do it this one way so I can get graded well. But thanks to Chair and Drilltail, they've been trying to remind me here and there, with not directly, but like here and there, being like, it doesn't matter if you do it terribly, as long as it works, we can refine it later and we can show you how it's done and all that. And that's great because like I would do something like really long and dumb on GameMaker or something. I'm just like, this is not gonna work. This isn't good at all. It's not even optimized or whatever. But then like they would look at it and be like, that's creative. I never thought of that or something. Like hey, it works. That means you actually did it, and it made me feel really confident in my abilities afterwards because because I never was confident. I always thought it was never good enough. I always got graded poorly. I never felt like I did a good job or whatever, and I always doubted myself. And like these guys are really like encouraging to be like, yeah, you're doing well. Like there was a web page I had to do for a Chair in his workplace, and that was the assignment. Like, hey, can you get this page going? And it's like, okay, I know the code, I know how it's supposed to look like, I have it all done, I just gotta work on it. So I work on it, I make some mistakes, I ask for a little bit of help, but I keep going back to it, and surprisingly, I got it done in a day, and that was surprising to Chair because he didn't expect it to be done in a day. He thought it was gonna take 2 days or more, and that was a really good like moment because I'm just like, man, that's crazy. It felt really easy to do it in a day. It felt like that was the requirement, but it's like, no, it wasn't, but you did it. It's all matters of crazy. Aside from work stuff, though, we had fun with arcade machines and hanging out together as all. I've been doing record here to show that I have done clothes shopping with Cher, so we are considered best friends. Whatever, don't just ignore whatever he says about this. We are technically best friends in the biggest sense. Um, we've gone to eat in a lot of different places. Got to experience this city that he lives in a lot, and it it's great. Like I want to be here, even though the task to get to here is major, but at the same time, like I should be worth it, and I could probably do it. It just takes time, but it can happen. So I will definitely work on that to make that happen because I'm tired of living in my place. Okay, like even if the apartment I'm gonna get or whatever, apartment room, whatever, is like super small or something or way less, like that would be leagues better than just being isolated in my own town. Like I feel like as long as I can go to friends to hang out and for support, then that's way better than being isolated and stuck with a family that like is dying. the strain of that of my family. It takes too much toll on me. Aside from that, other good objectives that happened this year have been arcade. Like I've gotten an arcade cap that I've made with a computer. I have done what else? I already talked about art and the projects I've done. I can't really say much else. Can't remember. I hosted some tournaments. I participated in some tournaments. I had some good collabs happen with Miriam Tolliver and Chair and Dokapon back then. Um, yeah, honestly, all this was really good stuff, and I truly, truly enjoyed experiencing most of it because it was just a fun time. And this month in particular has kind of restored my sanity in a lost sense into, being productive and just knowing that I have friends to support me, not stuck in a room next to a bed, like sleeping every hour or anything. Um, and it's also just interesting to live with someone else and like see how they live life. Very different from how I lived life. The sense of culture shock, but it's not like shock. It's just more like, oh, that's how you do things instead. They're just new things I've learned, new things that are just like no one would ever like question it, but it's like, yeah, that's how we do it because of this reason. I'm like, huh, I never knew about that. Well, aside from that, there hasn't been that much else to really report about. Just a lot of good times, and there's only 2 months left until the year ends. As for me, there's only 1 week left until I have to go back home, which from chair. That's gonna be a very very sad day, but it's necessary. Well, hope everyone that is watching this has a good year too, and if not, hopefully the next year will be a lot better for all of us. I definitely had rough years in the past, and now it's gonna be hopefully brighter than it already is bright today. As for when I return, I guess I will say that regular streams will come up. Splatoon 3 and other games will be played soon. When I return back for YouTube, I will finish the Patapon Let's Play. That's another major thing I didn't even mention. The Patapon Let's Play. That was a very fun time, and that took a lot of work to get done. Okay, well, work in the sense of what I do for commentary so far. I'll put more effort on my next Let's Play or video, whatever I do. We'll make the bonus episode, though. That is for sure. We'll do that. And I hopefully want to try to make some actual essay videos on YouTube. That's something I always wanted to do, and I think I really should try to do it from now on and see how I can improve from the first one. Just the mentality is just do it like as messy as you can, and then like you can learn to improve next time. I think that's the biggest lesson to get in this time. Well, then I think that's pretty much it. Next time on my life, which would be my birthday next year, we'll see how the next year shall improve and my progress with everything on how my ideas and my goals will reach. So, to look forward to next year will have to be Touhou Fest. That will be done next year around spring. I think March. I forget. We'll be making games, video essays, and maybe at that time I might have a job or something. Who knows? Only time will tell, and only I can make that happen. Alright. Until then, have a good year, everyone. I know it sounds like an end of the year speech, but it's close to my birthday, so I'll have to. For everyone, have a good year. And until next time, I'll see you guys then.